Wife, a married woman considered in relation to her husband. Ruth 4:13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife, and when he went into her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Once again, it's your girl Jasmine. So today, we're going to start talking about how God has a job for us as women, to become women of God, but also to become a wife and to be able to fit the position of a wife. And so whenever he has a job for us, has a position for us in life, it requires that there is duties. You know, whenever you look for a job, it says, do you meet these qualifications? Can you handle these duties as filling? Are you the person for the job? Will you be able to handle these things as a woman to fill the shoes of the job that you're qualifying for? So, of course, if it's a wife, do you fit these specific duties? So, first, we're going to talk about how, you know, when God calls us to step out of where we are in our life now to go into another place. So, for instance, in my life, I would be looked at as single. I don't have a spouse. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm not in a relationship. The only relationship I have is Jesus Christ. And so, if Christ was talking to me in this scenario, in this situation, he'd be saying, look, I'm going to take you out of your singleness and you're going to become a wife, and these are the duties that you're going to have to fulfill and perform. So we're going to talk about how God has a job for us. So we'll kind of look for that, and we'll look in Mark chapter 1 verse 16. It says, now as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew, his brothers, casting the nets into the sea, for they were fishers. And Jesus said unto them, come ye after me, and you will become fishers of men. So here we see that Jesus Christ is offering them a job for them as disciples. So they would be leaving their previous job to become what Christ was calling them to become. Whenever Christ has something for your life, he will take you from the place where you are at, and you will be filling into a new position, a new place in your life. Whenever he tells you, hey, come follow me, meaning I'm going to take you out of the position that you are and place you in a different position in your life. And so you have to basically, listen to what he's trying to tell you. He's trying to say, look, I have a job for you. I have something for you. So what do you do when you have a job already, you have a place in your life that you're in, and then all of a sudden Christ says, hey, come follow me, I'm going to put you in a new position? What do? Well, if it's in a new position, maybe a new job, maybe a position that's higher than the position that you are, maybe you get a promotion. You leave the position that you're at, and then you go to the position that you're hired to. So, and we talk about like quitting your job. So basically what the disciples decided to do is they quit their job and they decided to go to the position in which it was that God was calling them to go to. So I would leave my singleness behind and I'd go to the position of being someone's wife. And it just doesn't happen overnight. You want to prepare to be someone's wife ahead of time. Over the past year, 2 years, I've been working with God to heal from my trauma so that one day I could be a wife, one day I could be a mother, learning how to, making sure, like right now that I have my apartment, I clean all the time, and I learn how to coupon shop so that I can make sure that I save money so that I can do extra things that I want to do, so when I do have kids or something, that I'm not spending all my money on like one area of my life, like groceries or clothing, and I know how to get the discounts in different places so that I can have these things so I can spend time with my children and stay within my means and my budget and still be able to enjoy and have a good time with them. So here we see, even though I'm not married nor do I have kids, but these are the things that I think about because this is something that's really important to me. So it says right here in verse 18, and straightway they forsook their nets and they followed him, meaning they quit their jobs. They quit what they were previously at. They're like, okay, that's fine. I'm ready to fill the position in which it is that you want to have for me. God told them, okay, look, I have a position for you. This is the position that I'm going to give you. You know, whenever God is going to take you to a new place, he's going to tell you the position that he's going to give you. He's not going to just take you out of the position you are and not tell you what your position is going to be. He's going to tell you what your position is going to be when he moves you to the next place in your life. And he says they forsook their nets and they followed him. And when they had gone away a little further thence, they saw James, the son of Zebedee, and the John, his brother, who were in the ships mending their nets. And straightway he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the ships and with the hired servants, and they went after him. So, you know, the thing is whenever God has something for you, is going to call you into the next place in your life, you have to want to take the job in which he's offering you and quit the job that you're currently working in, so that you can take the next position in which it is that he has for you. So I'm going to put up the first few questions and then we're going to carry on. Are you guys? Peace. Are you ready to be a wife? What makes you qualified for the position? Alright, so of course it's the position of being a wife. So we're going to look at a few things. In the Bible, it says in Matthew 19, verse 4 through 6, it says, and he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So we're going to look more into this, because when you think about getting a position, getting a job, there are duties in which, you know, okay, that's great. You're going to get married, you're going to be a wife, and then okay, the big wedding comes, and then reality hits because life comes, and there's more to being a wife than just saying, oh, I'm somebody's wife. So we're going to look more into that. So we'll look when we think about the duties of being a wife. So in the beginning of the Bible, when you turn to Genesis, I'm going to have you guys turn to Genesis. So in the beginning of the Bible, God first created Eve. We're going to see Eve in the Bible for Adam to be a helper. So that is the first duty or qualification in which it is to consider yourself a wife, because the reason why us as females were created in the beginning in the Bible says that we were created to be a help meet. So you have to ask yourself, you know, do you fit this qualification? Are you a help to your husband? Are you more of a help, or are you more of a strain to your husband? Do you help him do the things in which it is that are required to do in life to get through life, or are you more of there to help yourself? You know, because the purpose of us being created as women were to help, to be helpers, you know, and so we'll kind of look at that in the Bible. So it says right here in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, and the Lord God said, it is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him a help meet for him. And it says in verse number 21, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of the ribs, and he closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is bone of my bone, and now flesh of my flesh. And she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore, again, shall a man leave his mother and his father, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So here we're seeing that God created Eve in the beginning of the Bible to be more of a help to him. So ask yourself, are you more of a help to him? So I'm going to have you guys turn during these next few things. I'm going to talk about what it is to the duties of a woman, the duties of a wife unto a man and unto her husband. So we're going to look back and forth between Genesis and Proverbs 31. So I'm going to have you guys turn to Proverbs 31 if you like. So Proverbs 31, we'll look in verse 11 through 12. It says, okay, so we'll start in verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil, and she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. So she is a help to her husband. Her husband's heart safely trusts in her. You know why his heart safely trusts her? Because she is dependable. She is dependable, and he knows that she is going to help him, and she knows that she is going to help him through the good times and through the bad times, and you know that she has his best interests at heart, not only for her husband but also for their family if they have children as well. She has their best interest at heart, his best interest at heart. His heart safely trusts in her because she is a great help to him. You know, he is not having to do everything by himself all alone. He has a helper to help him. That was the purpose why God made Eve in the first place, to be able to help him. So basically she finds she has the best interest in him, and she wants to do good for him, you know, whatever it takes, that whatever she needs to do to make sure that the man and her get through life smoothly to the best of their ability, through good times, through bad times, through hard times. You know, you're there, you know. I know, like, I've had situations in my life where I've had relationships, you know, and you know, sometimes it's really hard when you're going through the very hard times to try to do your best, to do good and to be a help, you know, when you're having struggles in your personal relationship, and you're like, well, God, why should I do that for so-and-so, and they're acting like this and they're acting like that, and you know, I just can't do it. You know, I've been there. You know, I've done that, you know, but you have to pray, and you have to think to yourself, you know what would God do? How would God treat them? You know, will God continue loving them? I mean, I know it is hard because you're in pain, you're hurting, you're like, oh my gosh, if you knew what was going on in my life. But you have to continue to be this helper, because that's what God created you to be here. And when you said your vows, when you said your I do, you said you'd be here for better or worse, you know. Okay, so if this is worse right now, you know what, still try to be the best help you can be, so you can get through these times, because better times are coming, better days are coming, and God's going to get you through these situations together. So I'm going to put up the next few questions, and we're going to carry on. Are you guys? Peace. Are you more of a help as a woman or a strain? Does your spouse trust you to be dependable, not only in the good times but in the bad? Alright, so we're going to continue on. So, of course, we know that the woman is created to be a help. So, we're going to kind of look at how the woman is created to be a help, take care of the household. Now, when we see in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, God had placed Adam in the Garden of Eden. That was his home. That was his household. And so Adam was at home alone. He had nobody with him. He was just by himself. It was just him. One is the loneliest number that you ever did see. I mean, he was just alone in his house. And so his house needed a womanly touch. It needed some type of womanly love. And so if that's the case, then a woman needs to be a help in the household. You can't be lazy. You can't not clean. You cannot learn to cook, you know, learn how to do something in which will help benefit your household, but you can't be lazy. God created us to be a help, and a helper is not lazy. It's someone who helps benefit and improve and do things that are to better off, help someone else in a better way, not just sit there and be a strain on their life. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to turn to Proverbs 31. Now, the Proverbs 31 woman was an amazing woman. She did a lot of things for her household, for her husband, for her children. So we'll look in verse 13, verse and 14. It says, now verse number 13, she seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hand, and she is like a merchant ship, and she bringeth her food from afar. Okay, so here she is, and now let's get this straight, okay? Eve, she brought home the wrong food, okay? She brought home a fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now bring home the right food, honey, okay? Bring home the right food. Do not be like Eve, okay? Do not try to sit there and bring, death upon your family, Don't be like Eve, okay, ladies? Okay, so here's the Proverbs 31 woman. So basically it says that she seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. So basically she keeps herself busy. She does things to help benefit her household. I mean, I got my apartment, I'm not married yet, I don't have any kids, but I am preparing myself to be a wife. And so, even if you're not a wife, even if you're in the process of preparing yourself to be a wife, why not start now? You think you're just going to get into marriage and mysteriously be this awesome, amazing wife. Oh my gosh, wow. I really know how to do this overnight because I just learned how to do this overnight, and wow, no. It doesn't just happen like that. You want to, if you're not a wife already, prepare yourself to be a wife. So when the time comes, your husband will be like, well, wow, even though you've never been a wife before, honey, hey, how you doing? You're amazing. I prayed for someone like you. I prayed for a woman like you. Or I would never expect you to be this type of woman, but wow, you know how to do this, you know how to do that. And that's what sets you apart as a wonderful wife and a wonderful spouse. And, you put your best and your heart and your love, into the things that you're doing. You stand up above all the other women that, I've looked for. Those are the things that I was looking for. And when somebody's looking for a wife, those are some of the things that, they're looking for. They're looking for someone who can, take care of their household. And, can you cook? Can you clean? Can you, do something? What can you do as a woman to help benefit your household? So she was busy, It says that she is like a merchant ship, and she brings her food from afar. For me, I love grocery shopping. I am like such a bore. Like Saturdays is usually my grocery shopping day, and I go and they have all the the discount meats, and then I sit there and I bag it. So say okay, last weekend they had chicken on sale for 99 cents a pound, so I got a thing of chicken for something like a family pack, and then I got a whole bunch of meat, and it was marked down or whatever. So I got 4 packs of sausages, 3 packs of bacon, and then I got they have these big containers of Arizona iced teas this big. And for me, I drink a lot of juice, and so for an Arizona iced tea that's a tall can, it's usually that big, is $1. Well, they had them 10 for 10, so it would be $1. So what I did is I got 10 of them and just stacked them in my closet for later. And so then I had gotten all that meat, and then they had my sticky buns on sale, which I saved $2.67 for buying 4 for $5. I got a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $1.99. Excuse me. And I got some milk. I got a whole bunch of other things. Like, my list can go on and on and on. Like, I have probably like 10 more items that I got, but all together, it all came down to $40. Like, let's be real, okay? Like, so I got probably like like $100 worth of groceries for $40. It was amazing, and those are the things that I love to do, but say that one day I want to have a big family. I have to learn how to stretch and make it work, and learn how to do those things, because I want to have a family and I want to make sure that I can, well, obviously God's going to supply the need, but make sure that, like, okay, so say I would have paid $100 for my groceries. I paid $40 for it. That $60 could be accredited to something else in my life, where, like, we could go to the museum together as a family, or, go out to eat as a family, or, do something as a family, like, it could go to something else, so we want to, like, I do a lot of coupon shopping, and so, you want to learn how to do those things as, a woman. I think those things are very beneficial, in today's society, that we know these things as women, because a lot of women don't know how to do these things. Like, for me, when I cook, like, when I write down my grocery shopping list, instead of coming off this, because I know some people will come out of the grocery store with more snack food than regular food. Like, I like to cook. I like food. Like, I remember when my friend was here, she's like, oh, you forgot the snacks. Because I bought all food. I wasn't even thinking about snack food. I was thinking about real food, cooking hot meals and stuff like that. I wasn't like, snacks didn't even cross my mind, But way I write my grocery list is I write it by the meal that I'm gonna. Okay, so if Monday I'm gonna make tacos, I know that I have to buy hamburger meat. That means I have to buy cheese. That I have to buy lettuce and and those things of that nature. So, but if I buy, all right, so then I have my hamburger meat. Okay, so say I buy a pack of chicken. All right, so then that pack of chicken, I'm going to split it up. And one day I might have corn with it. And then I might have like yellow rice with it. And then I'll buy a bag of potatoes. So the next time I make chicken, I'll have potatoes. And I might have green beans with it. So there's 3 meals. So I have my sides and I have, my meals together. So that's how I write it down, and how I'm going to grocery shop, and how, okay, I'm going to make this meal this week, okay, maybe, all right, so I bought hamburger meat. I can also make shepherd's pie, maybe, so you make it down by the meal. So then, you never run out as much meat as you do have sides, so that you'll have, but some people don't think about it like that. But these are the things that I think about, so that I can have a full meal, so I'm not hungry, but I have a full meal that will help, satisfy me, so I can get on with my life, because I like to eat. So, but some people don't think about these things. These are the things as women that we need to know. And if you don't know, we need to learn how to do them. Do you know how to make a grocery list? If you don't know how to make a grocery list, then learn. If you don't know how to cook, ask somebody to help you, how to teach you. Even if you know how to make like something simple. Like, I once had an ex-boyfriend, one of the favorite meals that I ever used to make were grilled cheese pizzas. And we used to have a grilled cheese maker, and all you do is you put the butter on each side, and then you put the cheese, and then you put a little pizza sauce in there, and you put pepperonis in there, and then you put them in the grilled cheese maker. Grilled cheese pizza, and he loved when I used to make that. I mean, loved it. That's something so simple that someone can enjoy. Like, I make a thing, it's like it's like a, not a taco pizza, it's like I call it taco pie. I take a croissant roll, and you spread it in the pan, let it bake for a little bit, and then you make hamburger meat with taco sauce, like taco seasoning on it. You put the taco meat on it, on top of the crescent rolls, and then you put cheese on top of it, and you bake it. And then after, you put your lettuce on top, your jalapenos, sour cream, after it's done baking, of course, and jalapeno sour cream, and maybe your salsa. And there you go, taco pie. It's, simple things, something simple, something easy. You can always go on. For me, like if I have a craving for something, I go online, I look for a simple recipe online, and then sometimes I put my little tweaks and touches to it, depending, because I love to cook. That's something that I love to do as a person. Cleaning wise, I'm not always the cleanest person in the world, but I know that if I'm going to have a family, that, that's one of the things that I want to make sure that I do. Washing, the clothes, making sure my husband's clothes are washed, my kids' clothes are washed and taken care of and treated, so that they can have clothing to wear, even if it's like separating the whites from the darks, learning how to wash laundry. Those are the things that we as women, that we should learn how to do, getting, making sure the household's clean. Like right now, I'm washing I have like a fabric liner for my shower, so I'm washing the shower liner right now as we speak, and then I'm going to put my laundry in the washer machine, so those are the things that which I do. And then tomorrow I'm going to sweep all around my house, mop it, and I washed up the tub already, washed the whole bathroom out. All I have to do is mop and sweep everything in the house and get it all nice and clean, so that I can go the next 2 days with a clean house, because my house doesn't get dirty fast, but like because we have like these tile floors, they kind of like I don't know, they just get so dirty so fast. I don't even know how. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just cleaned like 2 days ago. Making sure the dishes are washed. That's one of my pet peeves. I hate dirty dishes. I don't like the smell of dirty dishes. I don't like the smell of dirty dishwater. Like, ooh, it's so gross. I can't take it. Making sure the dishes washed. Those are things that we as women, we should learn how to do to be able to help take care of the household. Yeah, we are to be helpers. For some women, they would like the men to be able to help them, because we're helpers, and that doesn't mean doing all the work as a helper. But for me, I would want to, for myself, I feel like those are the duties as myself personally as a woman that I should be carrying on. It's going to be a heavy load, and and when I have kids, I'm going to teach them these things. But those are things that I want to do for as a wife, that I think are very important for, that are, I feel like those are my responsibilities, because that's my role as a woman, that God created me to be a woman, to make sure that I make sure that my husband is taken care of and my family is taken care of in these areas in life. So I'm going to put up the next few questions, and then we're going to look at how she helps raise the children as well, because raising children is not just one person job, but it's a two-person job. The husband helps, but if you guys decide that you're going to have kids, it's very important that you love, being a mother and taking care of your children, because it is an important task. Sometimes we don't value our children as much as we should as mothers, as parents, and we say that we're raising our children, but in all reality, are we really raising our children? Taking the time, instead of saying because I said so, or but taking the time to be like, okay, let me teach you how to do this so you can better your future. So I'm gonna put up the next few questions, and we're gonna carry on, and I'll get more into that. All right, guys, peace. What can you do to help benefit your household as a wife? What do you already know how to do, and what do you need to learn how to do? What steps do you plan on taking to help benefit your household duties as a wife? Alright, so next we're going to look at how she helps raise his children. It takes teamwork to raise a child, okay? If in today's society, we have a lot of single mothers. We have a lot of grandmothers, grandparents raising children. But the way that God created it was for it to be a two-parent home type of situation. A child was a two-person vision, because it takes two people to make a child. A child is a two-person vision from the Lord, in which it requires two people to raise a child. And so she helps raise the children. Genesis 4:1 says, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. So Adam knew his wife. He had an intimate relationship with his wife, and they conceived together. And so they came together and they made this child, and she was to help him raise the child, and he was to help her raise the child as well. It is a two-person job. It's something that two people are supposed to do. It is not supposed to be put all on the woman. It is not, yes, women are supposed to help raise the children, but a man is also supposed to help raise the child as well, because there's things that a man knows about being a man that a woman cannot teach. Like, I cannot love my daughter as a father because I am not a father. She needs a father figure. I cannot love my son as a father because I am not a man and I am not a father. He needs a father in his life when I have children. Those are things in which I cannot do as a woman, though I would, I understand there's people in society that have to do that in life, but that is not the way that God intended it to be in the beginning of time. It is a two-person vision. A woman does not lay down by herself and get a baby, okay? That is not what happens. A man and Adam knew Eve, meaning they had a sexual intimate relationship and they got pregnant together. And so a child is to be raised together by both parents. And so we're going to kind of see more in Proverbs 31:28. And we're going to look in verse 15 and 21. So here, okay, I'll start in 15. So it says, she rises up also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. So basically, she rises up early and make sure. So, okay, if your kids need to go to school, you are up early getting them ready for school. You're getting them food prepared. You're cooking them breakfast. You're cooking them, making sure their lunches are ready for school. You're making sure that that you give them their portion of meat. You make sure dinner is ready. You make sure those things are ready, so you're not neglecting your children, but you're doing the responsible things in which it is that women should do towards their children. Do not be a position, right? If you're getting hired for a position, that means you need to be doing the things in which it is that you're required to do to fill this position. And if you're lazy, what happens? You get fired from the position, or you don't even get picked for the position at all. They'll be like, oh, well, you don't meet the qualifications of the position, and so then I'm not going to pick you. It's like applying for any type of job. Like, why would anybody, there's certain things. The Bible says a wife finds himself a good thing and obtains favor for the Lord. And so if a man is looking for a woman to fit the position in which he's looking to fit a certain position, why would he pick someone who doesn't even fit the qualifications of the position that he's wanting to fill? Because they're not doing the things in which they need to do to fill the position. Okay? And so here, we're going to look in verse 21. We'll continue on. It says, she is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. So her household is clothed. She makes sure that her child has the right clothes. If it's snowing out, then they're wearing clothing that is meant for the winter. If it's hot out, then they're wearing clothing that is meant for the summertime. They have the right appropriate stuff on. They're not dressed like inappropriate for their age. They're wearing the right things in which they need to be wearing, socks and belt, and learning how to do certain things in which it is to meet their milestones as children, as in which children need to meet. Potty training, making sure that they switch from the bottle to the sippy cup, and doing those things in which a mother should be teaching her children how to do, and doing homework with them and reading them stories, and loving them, as a real parent should be doing with their children. And in today's society, we have a lot of babies raising babies, and they have babies and then they just sit there and neglect their babies all day. Like, God gave you a gift and something special, and you don't even treat it the way that it needs to be treated, then it's going to turn out to something that is not really good. Turn out like I did, and not me now, after God had to heal me from 23 years of trauma. Me before, where I had to suffer through 23 years of trauma. So we have to make sure that we respect, for me, it's really important that we love as women our children, and that we do, the best things possible for our children. That means, don't be a baby having a baby, meaning change your mentality. If you're going to have kids, change your mentality for your child. Heal yourself within, so you're not, if you have low self-esteem, do not put your low self-esteem on your children. I think I'm beautiful, plus size and all, baby. I like to eat, okay? Blank, blank, period. I'm beautiful how I am, and I had an eating disorder when I was younger. Why? Because, the pressures of how someone else felt about themselves never allowed them to tell me that I was beautiful. And I would ask them, and I would seek for them to say, are you beautiful? And they never would let me know. And how did that affect me as a child? It affected my life. I don't want to do that to my child. I want them to know, look, baby, if you're going to be 170 pounds, 140 pounds, 220 pounds, you got to know, baby, you're beautiful. Because whether you're small or little, you're going to be beautiful. You're just beautiful. I'm going to love you regardless of how you look, no matter what society tries to say, oh, because you have a little weight on you, or you look like this, or you look, you're beautiful. Whether your hair is straight, whether your hair is curly, whether your eyes are blue, whether they're purple, whether they're hazel, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're mulatto, it does not matter. You are beautiful. You are loved. You're intelligent. Whether you have a disability, whether you can walk, whether you have one finger, whether you have an extra finger, whether you have no toe, whether no arm, you're just wonderful. You want to make sure that you got your mind right, so you're not affecting, other people with your traumas, for your kids with your traumas, with your issues, because it affects their lives. You want to make sure that you have a great mindset for your child. Like for me, I already have a bank account for my children, with money saved up for when I have children. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, but I love my kids beforehand. The reason why I wanted to heal from my traumas of 23 years, why? So that my kids wouldn't have to suffer through my traumas, because I want them to know that they are loved and they're cared for, and that I took the time to heal for them, that I love them that much enough to work on myself for them, versus, having them come into a lifestyle of destruction, which was placed upon me, and it made my life confusing and hectic, and I ended up down some very bad roads because people didn't choose to make changes in their lives to benefit me. So we want to make sure as a wife that we do these things. We want to make sure that we heal ourselves mentally and prepare ourselves to be wives. And even if you're a wife already and you've made those mistakes, there's never too late to start making the changes to be a better mother, to be a better spouse, to loving your husband, to being a better help or to your husband, to doing those things. And it says right here in verse 28, her children arise up and they call her blessed, and her husband also, and he praises her. So it's like her children praise her. Well, I can't wait to have kids and my kids say, I love my mother, she's the bomb. Like, I love her, she's great, she did this with us, she took us to the parks, she read to us, she made us laugh, she disciplined us, but, it's because she loved us, like she did right by us. We knew that our mom was going to be home every night. We knew, that she loved us. We could always depend on her to smile, and we love her cooking. And, those are the things I want to be able to hear my children say, and, I pride myself in that. As a woman, we should pride ourselves in those things, because, God gave us this womb, to be able to be mothers, and he wouldn't give us the needed, things in our body to be able to hold a child, to be able to be a mother, if those it wasn't one of the things in which it is that he wanted us to do. So why don't we pride ourselves in it if that is the position that we hold, to be wives, to be mothers? So I'm going to put up the next few questions, and we're going to carry on, and I hope you think about some of the things which it is that I'm saying. All right, you guys? Peace. What are things that you are doing to help benefit your children or your future children? What are things that you want to do with your children? How will you raise them? Homeschool, public school, discipline, fun activities, etc. Alright, so the next one is, as women, we should be helping meet our partner's sexual needs. Now, some of us in the world, we don't really talk about this in the church a lot, but this is something that should be addressed as women, and so it's something that I'm going to talk about. We should be addressing our husband's sexual needs, and we'll speak about that in more of not depth, but in depth. We'll kind of look at that. So in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, it says, and Adam knew his wife Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And then again in verse 25, it says, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bare him a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So Eve and Adam knew each other, meaning when you know someone, you have a relationship with them. They had an intimate sexual relationship with each other. When you look in the Bible, you look at Songs of Solomon. If you read Songs of Solomon is a very good, intimate Bible book. So ladies, I encourage you guys to read it, and I think more into when I start talking more about being a wife and getting into what God wants me to get into, we'll probably look some more in the book of Songs of Solomon, because it is a very beautiful book about the love between a man and a woman and the intimate moments that they share, that it comes from the love that they share between one another, because they have these moments when you're husband and wife, you have these moments, these intimate moments with each other. So I'm trying to find figures. I wouldn't be able to find scripture I'm looking for. So we're going to turn to 1 Corinthians, Acts, Romans. So we're going to turn to 1 Corinthians chapter number 7, and we're going to look in verse 2 through oh no, not 2. We're going to look, okay, we'll look through 2 through 5. It says, nevertheless, avoid fornication. Fornication is sex outside of marriage, meaning sex is okay if you're married. That's it. Sex is okay if you're married. Okay? So it's okay to give up your body to your husband. It's okay. Fornication is sex before marriage. You're married. You can sleep with your husband. It's alright, ladies. It's okay. Alright? So it says, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have their own husband. And let husbands render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto her husband. So it's okay to give your body to your spouse, okay? It's okay to give your body to your husband. It's okay for husbands to give their body to their wife. They know each other intimately, get to know each other on an intimate basis. And it says, the wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one another, except it be with the consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your contency. So basically, it is okay to share these intimate moments with your spouse, okay? It's okay to give your body up to your husband. These are the things in which it is that God says is okay. Build a relationship, fulfill each other's needs, get to know your spouse, their likes, their dislikes, learn to love them. When you look in the book of Songs of Solomon, I'm going to turn to Songs of Solomon, like you will see the beauty of their love. The beauty of their love. Why? Because they loved each other. They loved sharing these intimate moments with each other. Okay, so one verse says in Song of Solomon, verse 2, "Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for his love is better than wine." She loved his tender kisses. She loved that about him. She loved it. That's something that she liked. Right here in verse 13, "A bundle of myrrh is my well beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts." There he was. He laid on her chest. They had a relationship. He laid all night, just that. He just rested his head on her chest, and they just had this relationship. They had this bond. They got to know each other. The love doesn't have to die, just because you guys are married. Love each other. It doesn't just have to be about sex either. Just love each other. Have that passion. Grow more in love. Don't just stop loving each other just because you get married, just because you settle down. Allow the love to continue to burn. Allow it to, right here, one of my favorite parts of Songs of Solomon says in verse 7, "Many waters cannot quench love, neither can the floods drown it. If a man would give up his own substance of his household for love, it would utterly be contemned." But it says, many waters cannot quench love. It's like a flame. It's like, it just keeps burning and burning because you're so in love. Your love is never ending. It just continues on, and you just fall in love, greater and more every single day. And you just want to keep loving this person. You just want to keep giving yourself to this person, You want to keep growing, You want to keep learning more about them as they grow, You want to keep, learning more, We look at Songs of Solomon in chapter 4. He talks so much about how much he loved his spouse. It says, in verse 2 of chapter 4, "And thy teeth are like the flock of sheep that are even shorn, which came up from the washing, whereof every one bare twins, and none is barren among them. And thy lips are like the thread of scarlet." In verse 4, "And thy neck is like a tower of David builded from the armory." And in verse 5, "And thy two breasts are like the two young roes that are twins." And, in verse 7, "Thou art fair, my love. There is no spot in thee." Come with me to Lebanon, my spouse. Look, you are my wife. You are my spouse. I love everything about you. I know you. We have this intimate relationship. We have an intimate relationship with each other, not just sexually, but this relationship that just, I know my husband. I know, his likes, and I know his dislikes, and I know how to make him laugh, and I know when he's hurting, and I know when he's upset, and I just know about him, and I know what he goes through. And when you just know someone and you have that relationship with them, you're just more able to understand how to get through life with them, because how they operate their life, and how they shut down when they're upset, or how, what makes them laugh, and what makes them smile, and what makes them mad, and certain things in life. You get to know somebody, not just intimately, but as a person and who they are. And that's our responsibilities and our duties as a spouse. And if you fit all the requirements to fit the job, then just wait for God to send you your Boaz. And if you already have a husband, continue to get to know him, continue to love him, continue to encourage him, continue to be a helper, continue to love your children, continue to help out your household and do what it is that God has required you to do. So I thank you guys so much for tuning into this lesson, and I pray that we become better women. And I just want to say a prayer at the end of this video, because I feel like it's appropriate for what we're talking about. So, Lord, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for this moment in time, Lord. I pray that whoever is watching this video just decides that they will commit themselves into being better women, so that they can be better wives to fit the position in which it is that you have called them to be in their life, Lord. I pray as they go into answering this position and becoming a wife, Lord, and learning how to become a wife, Lord, or already in the position of being wife, Lord, that they continue to better themselves and to be all they can be for their family and for their husband, Lord, because life is short, and life is about loving and loving one another. And God, you have blessed them with a family, and some people are not blessed with this opportunity, but you have given them this opportunity, an opportunity in which there's so many people around the world who would give up everything for it. And I know for myself personally, Lord. So I thank you once again for this opportunity for each and every single one of us, and I pray that we better ourselves. And if there are places in our life which you can see that we're weak in, help us to become better wives in that area, Lord, so that we can be better women of God and women who are striving to love our husbands as well as our families. And I thank you so much in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I pray that you guys become better wives, or get ready to be a wife. Just because you're not a wife yet doesn't mean that God will not call you to be a wife one day. And when that man, that Boaz that you've been waiting for has come, you will be prepared and you will be ready to fit the qualifications of being a wife. God bless. Do you fulfill your husband's sexual needs? Do you know your husband, his likes, dislikes, what makes him mad, what makes him happy, etc.?